All right, good evening, everybody. I hope you all have. I hope you all have enjoyed the big rally, the bounce back in the market, right? So great. I welcome all of you to this particular webinar, and in this webinar, we will be trying to understand how to find out. Stocks for trading or for investments, all right, using the relative rotation graph by Julius D Campaner, all right, RRG. We all know it by the short name called as RRG, all right. So in this particular session, it's Tuesday, so we I will be speaking in English. If you don't understand it would be like a kind of a mix of both. 80% I will be talking in English, 20% in Hindi. So make sure that if you don't understand anything, comment section is always there. You can comment and ask me. I'll definitely repeat for you guys. All right. And yes, if any of your questions do not get answered during the webinar, last 10-15 minutes, we will have a question and answer round. We will also try and analyze Nifty live, like what can we expect going ahead. All right. And all these things we'll be doing. All right. So let me very quickly share my screen. Is my screen, can you all see the screen? Uh, just a minute. Let me share the screen once again. Mm, Present, share screen. Okay, yeah. So now that's the screen over here. Um, so that is Nifty today. It opened up with a gap, and after the gap up, this huge gap up opening, it actually did nothing. And finally, from yesterday's close, yesterday meaning the Friday's close, it closed around 2% higher. All right. So what actually happened, the Trump effect came in over here on 7th of April. So basically, actually nothing much has done. I would say that it's a Trump effect, so we can say that okay, this is where it started falling and this is where it is currently. All right, I'll just change this color so that you can see it nicely. Let me keep it as some pink. And okay, and yeah, this line down. So this T, okay, this 4 days over here, gap down, and then recovery. You can say that okay, this is the Trump effect, and basically market is now where it was. All right. So if we take out these 4 days, it's just a bump over here that happened in this 4 days. But I'm sure this bump costed many a lot, right? Any which ways, we will be talking about Nifty, Nifty trends also in a while. But let me now straight go back to the topic straight away. So the topic is relative rotation graph, trying to find out strong sectors, and from the strong sectors how can we select some strong stocks. So how can we do it? All right. uh, and in the meanwhile, my friends, um, so this RRG graph, as I spoke to you in earlier, that it is made by Mr. Julius D. Campner, who was who is in the U.S. markets, and he tried to figure out how to compare various number of sectors in one screen amongst each other. All right, so basically he what he does is that RRG graph, it compares two things, the strength of the stock or the sector relative to the benchmark. Okay, so everything is relative to the benchmark. All right, and similarly momentum, whether the momentum is gaining or losing. All right, so these two things have been plotted, and because there are two major factors that goes into this picture, we have basically four quadrants over here like this. All right, so what are those four quadrants? On the top right side we have the green color quadrant, which is called as a leading quadrant. Then we have the weakening quadrant, then we have the lagging quadrant, and then we have the improving quadrant. So this is the y-axis. Yeah, the vertical line over here is the y-axis where momentum is being plotted. JDK meaning Julius D. Kempner, JDK, momentum, RS momentum. All right. So the momentum is plotted over here on the y-axis. All right. In the center line, you will see it's 100. When you go above, it goes to 101, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And below it goes to 99, 98, 97, and so on. All right. Similarly, on the x-axis, we have JDK, that is Julius D. Kempner RS ratio. All right. So RS meaning relative strength. Okay. So you are comparing. It's kind of a ratio chart over here. So you will get to know that which sector is performing relative to the another sector on this particular, and vis-a-vis the momentum. We have the benchmark over here. We generally take it the Nifty 50, but if you want, you can also look at Nifty 500 and use that as a benchmark. But it is recommended that you use Nifty 50 only. All right. So now you've understood this. So how do these arrows look like? So I'll just put up few. Okay, PSU Bank. This is consumer durables. One is, you can say, energy, and one is, let's say, IT. All right, so we have these four lines over here. So what does each line mean? So let's start off with this line over here, where the arrow is sloping upwards. Okay, it is headed upwards, the arrow. Okay, this is Nifty consumer durables. So when the arrow is sloping upwards, okay, since last, now this is a time frame over here. The time frame is a daily chart. All right, so today is 15th of April, then 11th of April, and then 9th of April. So each dot over here is one day. All right, so you can say that in last 5 days, what has happened in consumer durables? 5 days ago, that is on 7th of April, you can see that the momentum was 99.38. Can you see in the box? Okay, or should I just increase the width? Yeah, just let me know if you can see it clearly in the box or no. Yeah, what is JDK RS momentum? It is 99.38. All right, so what has happened after that? The momentum increased slightly, 99.56 on the next day. Then on the next day it increased more, 99.96. Then it became 100.37, and today the momentum is 100.72. So in last 5 days the momentum of Nifty consumer durables has gone up. All right, it has increased, the momentum has increased. Okay, and that's why it came from the lagging quadrant and it entered into the improving quadrant. Okay, so that is a good sign for Nifty consumer durables. And if the momentum, if this particular sector, Nifty consumer durables, if it keeps the momentum strong, very soon it can, can you see, can you just try to project this arrow where it is going? It's going up, 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 and somewhere over here it's trying to get into the leading quadrant over here, green side. Okay, so if the momentum remains strong, this sector could come into the leading quadrant. And when it comes into the leading quadrant, meaning what? Let's look at this PSU Bank. Okay, a few days back, look at this. So now when the arrow is when PSU Bank is already in the leading quadrant, it means that Okay, this sector relative performance to the benchmark is better. All right, so you can now look at RS ratio. Okay, RS ratio was 101.99 5 days back. Then it was 102.26, so it improved. 102.46, it improved slightly. 102.69 and 102.94. So in last 5 days the RS ratio of PSU bank has improved. Okay, so it is outperforming the benchmark currently. Did you understand? So if the RS, if the, so what do we want is, my friends, the good case scenario is if the arrow is sloping up, meaning the momentum is improving. All right, if the arrow is sloping down, meaning the momentum is going down. All right, if the arrow is sloping right, meaning it is outperformer, you can say outperformer. Okay, and if the arrow is sloping on the left hand side, it can be a underperformer. Okay, did you all understand? Come on, quickly give me a yes in the comment section if you have understood this. Okay, so now you can see, let's see what is under. Now look at IT over here. What is happening in IT? So IT 5 days back was at 90, momentum was 100.36. All right, thank you for your confirmation, Sudhir Singh ji. All right, then the momentum dropped down to 100.28, then it dropped down to 100.19, then it dropped down significantly to 99.88, and today again it went down by 99.52. But my friends, did IT prices went down today? No, it did not went down drastically. It actually came up. Let's see what is happening in IT. So is it, so this is 11th. Okay, okay, let me, okay, here we go. Okay, so today what has happened is that momentum went down to 99.15. So we have these five sessions over here. Since last 5 sessions, IT momentum has decreased drastically. All right, and Nifty IT has gone up by 1.86% today. Okay, but what has happened? Nifty has gone up by around 2.7, around 2%, right? Let me look at the Nifty chart. Okay, over here itself. So Nifty has gone up by around 2.19%. And what has happened to IT index? So here we have the all the indices over here. IT index over here has gone up by 1.86, meaning this has underperformed. Okay, anything which has gone up by more than 2%, okay, all these are outperformers. They have outperformed the Nifty. Okay, but all these red, they have underperformed. Okay, it's sloping down. Okay, the IT index is sloping downwards. Is that clear, my friends? Yeah. And also look at the RS momentum. What is happening to the RS momentum? So RS momentum over here on 9th of April, RS ratio was 94.60. Then it came down a little bit to 94.25, and it again came down to 93.82. So clearly, when the arrow is sloping downwards and it's sloping on the left side, so this you can say is southwest direction. All right, so if any arrow is sloping towards the southwest direction, what does it mean? It means that the momentum is being lost, and comparative to Nifty, it is also underperforming. All right, so what to do when anything is underperforming. As an investor, you need to avoid this sector. Okay, now since we are looking this on a daily time frame chart, as a trader you can avoid to get into it for few days. All right, so let me convert it into a weekly chart. So if you are an investor, all right, so on an investor, again, see IT index over here. As a IT index over here, look at this. It since 5 weeks, since last 5 weeks, it is going towards the southwest direction. So even as an investor now, this sector is supposed to be avoided for now. Then what should we do as an investor? Which sector can we focus on? Okay, so anything which is now sloping up, it has already, so all these sectors over here, okay, they all have underperformed, but all these arrows are now sloping upwards, so they are gaining momentum. So if the momentum is gained nicely, so something like this, see, look at this. I'll select my own watch list over here. So something like this over here. What has happened to Nifty PSU Bank on the weekly time frame chart? So 5 weeks back, Nifty PSU Bank. Okay, this index was underperformer. It was in the lagging quadrant. But then somewhere over here on 24th of March week, okay, 24th of March, when the week started, somewhere over here the arrow turned up. So from here the momentum started gaining. Relative performance towards Nifty was still an underperformer. So you can clearly say that any indices which are on the left hand side of the quadrant, their RS ratio is less than 100, meaning relatively they are underperformer to the benchmark. Meaning what? If Nifty goes up by 2%, okay, then these indices will go up by less than 2%. Okay, if Nifty falls by 2%, then probably they will fall more than 2%. Are you all understanding? Yeah. So something like this, which has crossing the border over here. I always say, this crossing the border from lagging to improving. Okay, why? Because the momentum is gaining. So for a investor kind of a thing, or a positional trader, PSU Bank is something that we can watch out now. Why? Because the momentum has increased drastically. All right, and kind of a ratio is also improving. So last week, the ratio for PSU Bank was 97.56. Now it is 97.69. So it has improved. And the momentum has improved greatly from 99.83 to 100.06. All right. And if you can see that FMCG has taken a U-turn. All right. FMCG was down here. It was down here, and today FMCG just bounced back. So on 7th of April week, all right, the momentum was 99.54, and this week the momentum is 100. The relative performance also has improved from 97.21 to 97.61. All right, so something this week, something drastic change has happened in FMCG, and if FMCG continues its momentum, it can, for next few weeks, it can still go up. Is that clear, my friends? Did you all understand? Yeah. Quickly give me a yes or a no in the comment section. All right. So yes, so FMCG has performed, PSU is performing, but relative ratio, okay, towards the benchmark is weak. Then what is strong? What is strong is Nifty Bank, Nifty Private Bank, Nifty Financial Services. Why? Because they are in the leading quadrant, and the arrow is also sloping upwards. So you can see that they are changing quadrants. These all these lines, they are changing quadrants, and generally they are in the clockwise direction. So from leading they come down to weakening, then go into lagging, then come up to improving, and then come to leading. So they move generally in a clockwise direction. So if we go back 5 weeks, okay, if we go back in time, okay, so this, you can see this is a scroller. Okay, so this is the current week. Let me just pull it back, and all right, here. So here we go on 24th of March. So what could have happened? What was the scenario on 24th of March? Okay, on a weekly time frame. So let's suppose you were focusing on Bank Nifty, and along with that, you also had, let's say, IT. Okay, so I'll just select IT and I'll select Bank Nifty over here. Okay, and again, I'll have to go back in time a little bit. So how can this help you as an investor? Okay, see, now as an investor over here, currently, let's assume we are on 24th of February 2025. Both these, are in the weakening quadrant. But as time passes by, what has happened? Okay, IT has gone into the lagging quadrant. Okay, but Nifty Bank has changed its direction and is now sloping upwards towards the leading quadrant. So on this week, 17th of March week, what we could have done is, okay, as a portfolio, if you are handling a portfolio, all right, you can um, say book profits from IT, or exit IT and get into banking sector. Okay, banking, or you can look at private banking, because private bank is also there better, okay, compared to PSU bank. Okay, where is PSU bank? Here, PSU bank is still in the improving quadrant, but private bank is over here in the leading quadrant. So if we go back again in time a little bit, okay, where is IT? So IT was over here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here, we have private bank, which is in the leading quadrant already. Bank Nifty is, in the weakening quadrant, and IT is also in the weakening quadrant. And when the time passes by, okay, have a look. Bank Nifty seems to be turning upwards. Okay, and IT index goes into the lagging quadrant. So here you exit from IT and get into Nifty Bank, or maybe private bank. So if you want to look at the chart over here, what can we do? Okay, let me just open up one chart over here, comparing both the indices over here. Mm, okay, all right. And in the meanwhile, my friends, for RRG charts over here, all right, fantastic software. I hope you many of you are already using this particular software. For those who are not using this software, who are not using this RRG, which is giving some wonderful ideas about, I'll show you, how wonderful it works. So if you want to use RRG and want to become an independent analyst, want to do your own analysis, this is one of the very good product. All right, and you can log on to web.strike.money, and you can start using this particular portal. Okay, where there are various other features as well. And if you want to directly, we are running one offer for especially those people who are watching us live in this webinar. So there will be one link that will be in the description. All right, you click on the link, and the subscription for 1 year is something around 5,600 or something. But using this link, if you pay, you will get a discount, and for 1 year subscription it will be 5,000 rupees, and for 6 months of subscription it will be 3,000 rupees. All right, so hurry up, quickly, click on the description link below, and you can you know very well subscribe to this particular software. All right, it is a web-based software, and you can also download it and install it on your desktop or laptop. All right, it works on both. It also works on Windows based and Apple. All right, RRG is a lagging marker. So how can you understand when it will turn? Very good, fantastic. Manoj ji. Uh, See, RRG is not a kind of you cannot say when the arrow will change. Okay, arrow can change at any point of time. But that's why, how do we use this RRG is up to us. All right, so yes, definitely. So see, if anything is gaining momentum, so like this over here currently. All right. uh, So currently, like this on the screen, if you can see the IT index right now, let's assume today is 17th of March. All right, this is a weekend. Okay, 17th of March, the week has ended. IT has gone into the lagging quadrant, but you can see that Bank Nifty is headed upwards. So clearly, it shows that Bank Nifty is kind of outperforming. It is better performing than IT index. All right. So let's go to 17th of March weekly chart over here. All right. So we have private bank weekly chart on the top over here. All right. And we have the IT index on the bottom over here. Okay, same, it's both are weekly time frame chart. So if we go to 17th of March, right, 17th of March over here, this. All right, so I'll mark one vertical line. 17th of March. Let me draw one more vertical line over here on 17th of March. So here, what happened was, when you saw that IT was going into the lagging quadrant, what happened over here? The IT index actually fell down in last 4 weeks, whereas the private banking, okay, it remained up. So over here, around 4 to 5 weeks ago, when you have seen something like this, you could have exited IT and got into the banking index. Okay, and this is not only this time. You can also see this. Let me remove these. You can go back in time. On the weekly time frame chart. Let's go back. Okay, here we go. Okay. So look at this. What is happening? Let's assume this is we are in February 2024. All right. IT index is in the leading quadrant, but the arrow is sloping down. That means the momentum is losing. Nifty Private Bank is already in the lagging quadrant, and it's gone. The momentum is flat. All right, and it's losing strength. So now, slow and steadily, what happens is, okay, IT index comes into the weakening quadrant and private bank changes up. Now we are not so sure that what can happen over here. So we can at least wait a little bit. Okay, now when they cross borders, okay, now this is where there is a high probability game. Nifty Private Bank has gotten into the improving quadrant, and IT has got into the lagging quadrant on 15th of April. All right, so let's go into 15th of April. Where is 15th of April? Here, August. Here we go. So somewhere over here, March 8th, this year, over here, 15th of April. Let me draw a line here, and also let me draw a line over here. So 15th of April, what has happened? Private bank is improving. It's gone improving. So, and IT is into the lagging. So what we can do is we can get out of IT and get into private bank. All right. So private bank from 15th of April to, let's take 1 year. Okay. 15th of April 24 to 15th of April. So again, yeah. So it's almost one year, if you can see, or at least for few months, if you see what has happened. Private bank from here, it has touched a high over here. All right. And what has happened to the IT index? IT index of in that period has also gone up over here. Yeah, this one. Okay. So in this period, what has happened is that since private bank was still an underperformer, it did not go up much. But let's see what is happening here. Here you go. So at this point of time, when private bank turns down, 10th of June, okay, private bank is turning down. IT index has started going up. So here you can again take an a different position. All right, so here the momentum, private bank momentum has stopped, but it has started gaining momentum from here. All right, and this is where you can reverse the position, where it has gone into the leading quadrant and private bank has come down. So on August 12th of August 24, so 12th of August, so here exactly September, August 12th. So here we go. And so over here, what has happened from here? The private bank IT index, it started doing well, and private bank, it almost went up a little bit, fell down, and then again it remained almost sideways. So basically, RRG is used to compare one sector with another. All right. So similarly, this was on the weekly time frame chart. Over here, when private bank is completely heading southwest, completely get out of it. You can remain in the IT counter, and here, depending on at this time whether Nifty is going up or going down. Okay, you can take a call accordingly. Now, here we go. So again, what has happened? What has happened? So you have to wait for IT. IT has come down in the weakening and turned up. So still IT is right now better performing than the private bank. Okay. Now here the things change. IT is now going down. All right. And clearly it is in the lagging quadrant. So, and private bank is in the leading quadrant. So right now, if you want to invest, let's assume that Nifty has given a turnaround. Nifty chart, let's look at Nifty chart as well. So if assume Nifty is supposed to go up from here, then which sector would you focus on? So it is clear that we will focus on the private bank rather than the IT sector. Is that clear? Yeah. So that was about weekly chart. Similarly, you can also look at the monthly chart for long-term investors. Now, for long-term investors, you have to give your investment some time. So the best thing is, about investment over here, as per the RRG, what we can see is that FMCG has gained momentum. Okay, private bank, bank Nifty, and financial services. Financial services has gained great momentum over here, and maybe a little bit of more momentum in this month. So next month, the financial services can get into the leading quadrant. So as an investor, right now in such times, if I want to put some money in a or even if I want to do an SIP, rather than doing Nifty ETF, I would prefer bank Nifty ETF. Why? Because the momentum is gaining, and it may soon, once bank Nifty comes into the leading quadrant over here, that would outperform Nifty. Okay, so rather than going for a mutual fund also, this can help you out there. Rather than having a IT based mutual fund, you can have a thematic based mutual fund and get into banking stocks or private banking stocks. Private banking, where is PSU banking? So PSU banking is way down over here. So on a monthly basis, PSU bank is headed towards the lagging quadrant over here, unless until there is some big momentum, and from here it changes and comes up over here, it would be a different thing altogether. All right, so right now we'll have to wait. The best high probability is when they have just crossed the borders, when they have just crossed the quadrants. So at least for next month, if I want to look at it, private bank, bank Nifty, and probably financial services, these are the ones we can watch out for. And maybe for a month I would wait for FMCG also. If it crosses it, comes up over here in the improving quadrant, then maybe FMCG can also be looked at it. Okay. Now what's in store for the, okay, look at this media also. Media is still in the lagging. It's gaining momentum slow and steadily, but not so lucrative enough for me, because it will not come into the leading quadrant. So if I want to find out some multi baggers, I'll have to wait a lot, and at least wait for media to come up over here in the improving, all right, and probably turn northeast. So I looking at the RRG, I would always focus, for buying I would focus on the arrows facing northeast, and for shorting opportunities I would focus on arrows which is facing southwest. Okay, so these are the ones, metal, oil and gas, energy, infra, auto, all right, PSE, realty, all these are facing towards the southwest direction. So if I want to handle my portfolio, I will allocate lesser amount of percentage to these indices, and I would allocate more money, okay, on private bankings and financial sector. All right. If I have IT counters, so IT counter has now dropped down. Consumer durables is dropping down. The momentum of pharma is also dropping down. So these would be somewhere where I would like to book some partial profits, okay, but not all the profits. Why? Because they are still in the leading quadrant. Currently, it could so happen that their short-term momentum is just dropping down. They are trying to take some rest, and it may again bounce back. All right. So over here, I would tell you, I'll give you the best case scenario for a buying opportunity, and the best case scenario for a shorting opportunity. What is it? All right. So if this is RRG chart, all right, and these are the four quadrants over here, the best case scenario is that from the weakening quadrant, if any arrow is directly getting into the leading quadrant, this will be the best case scenario, okay, for going long on this particular counter. All right. Similarly, if anything is performing, if anything is trying to perform, but all of a sudden something happens, and what's happening? And it goes down over here like this. Okay, this is the best case scenario for shorting opportunity. Okay, so there are again, for shorting opportunity, if anything is entering into the lagging quadrant, then this is one more thing where you can focus on. Okay, something which is coming down over here is also something bearish. All right, and for the bullish case scenario, something which is coming up over here, all right, or something which is coming into the leading quadrant over here, just entered into the leading quadrant. Okay, they've just changed the quadrants. So these are the places where you can, it's kind of a high probability trade which you can focus on. All right. And likewise, if you found out that, okay, Nifty Financial Services is something that you want to focus on, or Bank Nifty is something you want to focus on. So there are so many banks, which bank to focus on? So we have here Bank Nifty. You can select Bank Nifty, and accordingly on the monthly time frame chart, these are the 12 stocks which are included in banks. Now you can compare them. Okay, the benchmark over here for them is Bank Nifty. If you want, you can change it to Nifty 50 also, but recommended is you keep it the sector only, Bank Nifty sector only. And now you compare each bank with each other. All right, so if I want to compare over here, all right, I'm just doing a comparison. Of course, after that, your entry price, your target price, and stop loss price, you have to do further technical analysis on these companies, and then come to a final decision. All right. So on a monthly chart, as an investor, something which is coming down over here in the lagging quadrant is not what I would like to buy or invest into. I would like to invest into something which is probably getting into the leading quadrant, all right, or which is already in the leading quadrant. But yeah, look at this. It's coming kind of a losing momentum. All right, so the best case for as an investor, what we can see is something over here in Kotak Bank and HDFC Bank, which is trying to get into the leading quadrant. All right, if the same thing we would have seen few months ago, okay, few months ago. So this is the best case scenario. All right, HDFC Bank over here, which has just entered into the improving quadrant. So this was the best time, okay, to enter into HDFC. All right, or probably even Federal Bank. See, this is the best case scenario which I said. All right, the best case scenario is that something which is gaining momentum from the weakening to the leading quadrant. So this is a best case scenario. Okay, ICICI Bank over here. This was the best case scenario. All right, so this helps you a lot. And the same thing if you are a trader. All right, you can very well go to 60-minute time frame chart as well. All right, and on the 60-minute time frame chart, you can do your analysis and say, okay, which uh, counter is changing the quadrant. All right, so yeah, here you go. So this is 60 minutes is like very short term. All right, you can try to understand what could happen for next couple of hours. So maybe tomorrow if PSU Bank still gains momentum in the first hour, all right, what can happen is it can get into the improving quadrant. And if in the first hour, okay, so from 9:15 to 10:15, so look at the RRG chart somewhere at around 10:30. Okay, somewhere around 10:30, if you see that Nifty PSU Bank is in an improving quadrant. Okay, look at the stocks. You can use various techniques of technical analysis, like hourly range breakout, or momentum indicators you can use. There is RMI, there is or whichever indicators that you're comfortable with, whatever technical analysis or price action you're comfortable with, use that knowledge on PSU stocks. Okay, PSU banking stocks, and then take a trade. All right, and if market remains negative, okay, what sectors we can focus on? Maybe oil and gas, okay, which is right now heading towards the lagging quadrant. Okay, but again, what can happen is if in the first hour, if Reliance or ONGC or these oil and gas sector performs, this can also turn up. Okay, so for the first hour you at least see where it is. Is it going this way, or is it has changed and gained momentum? So if oil and gas gains momentum tomorrow in the first 1 hour or couple of hours, then for the next couple of hours it may perform more better, okay, than the rest of the indices, and even better than Nifty, and probably get into the leading quadrant. Yeah, did you all understand? Yes or no? Manojji, I hope I've clarified your doubt. Yeah, so a fantastic tool, I can say, and I generally don't use 60-minute time frame chart. What I do is, towards the end of the day, I look at the daily time frame chart to try and see what can happen for next few days. All right, uh, and count keep it as five. All right, so yeah, media for short term is going good. FMCG is doing good. So FMCG on the daily chart, it's in the leading quadrant, but on the weekly time frame chart, you can see that it is just trying to come up. Where is FMCG over here? Yeah, look at this. So on the weekly time frame, FMCG is trying to get into the improving quadrant, and on the daily time frame, it is on the leading quadrant. So FMCG is also something that you can look out for some short term movement. All right. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions so far? I hope you understood this RRG chart, how to read them. Any doubt, please feel free to ask me. Okay. Any doubt in how to read the RRG chart or anything? Okay. And yes, one more thing also, I keep getting a lot of queries that RRG chart is not updated, especially when we look at the weekly chart. Okay, now when I look at the weekly chart and I check the last date over here, okay, it shows 15th of April. Okay, so today is 15th of April, so today there will not be any problem. But when we are looking at the RRG chart, on a Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday or Friday, okay, the date over here, the arrow may come up, may change its position, okay, but the date will be 15th of April only. Why? Because this is the start of the week. All right, so arrow came here from, okay, it was traveling up over here, all right, somewhere over here last week. So when you check over here, it will show you 7th of April only. Why? Because 7th was the start of that previous week. Okay, but the data is up to date. All right, many people see it on a Wednesday and see the date at 15th of April and say that, okay, it is not updated. It is not so. Okay, the data gets updated every 5 minutes on this particular RRG chart. Okay, so Abhishek, hi, good evening. RRG should be used for positional and long-term investing, so it is better to use daily, weekly, and monthly time frame. Yes, Abhishek, you can use it on a daily and weekly time frame. That is the best time frame. Monthly time frame is very slow, very slow. All right, so and you'll have to wait a lot. Okay, so preferably, if you are a kind of a investor, who wants to accumulate stocks to hold for maybe 5-10 years, all right, then probably you can look at the monthly chart and try to see sectors which are in the lagging quadrant. All right, so maybe FMCG is gaining momentum on the monthly chart. It may take 4-5 months or 6 months for it to come up slowly over here and get into the leading, and probably at that time it may outperform. All right, so it is very slow. Monthly chart becomes very slow. So as an investor, you use two time frame, daily and weekly. Okay, that is a good thing. And if you are a trader, I showed you can also use 60-minute time frame chart, which moves very fast. So you have to be a quick decision maker. And how do I use it? If I'm looking at a 60-minute chart, I would look at at the end of the day, and then probably find out sectors which are changing, which are coming into the leading quadrant. And maybe if oil and gas turns first 1 hour, at 10:30, I would just have a look at it once, and then use my technical analysis, and then decide whether I want to go ahead or not. Yeah, so you can use it for short term trading as well. Yeah, any other doubts or questions? So if we are looking at, so as of now, which is the most probable is, the oil and gas has not turned yet. It has not turned up yet. But what has turned up yet is, PSU Bank, and IT has also turned up a little bit. IT and FMCG. Okay, FMCG is also sloping a little bit upward. So momentum was 99.16 an hour ago. So somewhere at around 230. And momentum has from 99.16, it has gone up to 99.27. Okay, in last 1 hour of the trade today. Okay, IT, okay, the momentum has gone up in last 1 hour of the trade. So if tomorrow, if the for the first half an hour, if these three sectors, if their momentum is strong, and if the overall market is also bullish, okay, if Nifty is also bullish, then probably I would also look at these stocks. All right, and then maybe combine it with technical analysis. And in technical analysis, we generally use Bollinger Band. So you can look at Nifty IT. So Nifty IT on a 60-minute time frame chart, or on an hourly time frame chart, what is happening? See, okay, so see, look at this. Just a minute. So it has gone into a squeeze. Okay, Nifty IT has gone into a squeeze. The yellow lines are the Bollinger Bands. So the bands has shortened up and they have gone into a squeeze, and it's taking resistance from the 40 EMA. So if IT goes up in the first 1 hour and crosses above its 40 EMA, then it could gain further momentum ahead. All right. So this way I will combine RRG with charts, and I'm always, my style is I will always confirm it with final charts. Okay. What I see on the charts, I will, finally take my decision of buying and putting up targets and stop losses only and only based on the charts over here. But how to pick up, which sector to focus on? Okay, there are so many stocks. Okay, which stocks are, and I'm trying to find out high probability trades. So the strong sectors, if I find some good stocks from the strong sectors, the probability is high of winning. And that's the reason why we can use RRG chart, okay, before doing in any analysis or getting into any stocks. Yep. So what's Nifty looking like? Okay, let's have a look at Nifty analysis very quickly. So this is Nifty daily chart, and over here, few days back, we felt that okay, when this trend line was broken, okay, when this trend line was broken, we felt that okay, wow, fantastic, it will go up, crazy, and suddenly there was this Trump effect, and it went down. Okay, and on this gap down opening, there were lots and lots of people who got really scared and thought that okay, it will come down to 20,000, and there were many people who booked, sold out over here. All right, and then there was Trump backed out, and market bounced back. Okay, so now if we look at the very basic Dow analysis, Dow trend analysis, it means that market is in a downtrend when it keeps making lower highs and lower lows, and market is in an uptrend when it keeps making higher highs and higher lows. So over here, when market came up over here, did it actually make a higher high? So if we look at if we look at the candlestick chart, yeah, we may feel that okay, this was kind of a fake breakout and it went down. And over here, this low was also broken on the opening basis. But if we look at the line chart, on the line chart we can see that this particular high, okay, see, this is a high, then this was a lower high, lower high, lower high, and yet again on a closing basis we got a lower high. So it was still in a downtrend, but then okay, this was a low, okay, this was a low, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, and this is not a lower low. So we can mark a line over here. So on a closing basis, this low was not breached, and that was a good thing, okay, that happened. So it has stopped making a series of lower lows. Now if we want to identify whether the trend will change or not, so now the significant high becomes this. All right, this becomes our significant high. So now, if on a closing basis, if Nifty goes about 23,673, rounding it off to 23,700, okay, then we may see that okay, this short-term downtrend would have the trend would have changed, and it can resume an uptrend. All right, and immediate support level over here remains 22,000. This previous low 22,083, but I'm again rounding it off to 22,000. Right, so this becomes our support and resistance. All right, now what else? Okay, we can go to sentiment indicators over here. All right, and in the sentiment indicators we have something called as average swing indicator. All right, now this average swing indicator along with, okay, I'll just put up, okay, this is the 40 EMA. The blue line that you can see is the 40 EMA. Now, if we see that okay, prices are above 40 EMA, that is a sign of a positive trend. And whenever Nifty is above 40 EMA, and this particular indicator, average swing indicator, is oversold, it is bouncing back from the oversold levels for next couple of days, for very short term, maybe only for a day or so. Okay, Nifty has always given some positive move. All right, how? Let's analyze. Okay, So last time we will check that, whenever this average swing is in the oversold territory, and Nifty should be above 40 EMA. Okay, so Nifty is not above 40 EMA. Nifty is not above 40 EMA. So see, when the trend is down, okay, this average swing, whenever it is in the oversold territory, it may not work. Okay, but whenever market is down over here like this over here, okay, it works very nicely. All right, look at this here. So it's somewhere above here. This is where, uh, this is where, Nifty, the average swing indicator left the oversold territory and bounced back, and from there we got prices was above the 40 EMA, and from there we got a nice rally. All right, similarly, let's go back. All right, here you go. During the election last year, election results, market fell down drastically on 4th of June. Average swing indicator went to an oversold level, and then it bounced back the next time, and for next couple of days it gave a spectacular rally. Similarly, see, whenever the trend is up, look at this. Yeah, goes up. Okay, so here, the Nifty was below 40 EMA, so this signal was supposed to be ignored here. Okay, a good rally over here. Nifty above 40 EMA and average swing leaving the oversold territory. Okay, so something like this, we can expect now. All right, see, look at this. It's leaving the oversold territory and Nifty is above 40 EMA. So, something like this, it has happened that Nifty is above 40 EMA. All right, last time when Nifty went above 40 EMA, average swing was in the overbought territory. Okay, so very difficult, okay, over here situation. But now when it is up, average swing is in the oversold and it is bouncing back, which is giving some confirmation that, maybe tomorrow or day after, market can try and test this particular, you know uh, I'm taking the line chart, and 23,700. Okay, so Nifty can try and test 23,700 in next, few days. Okay, very short term. All right. Similarly, what are the FI positions and all these things are also available over here. All right. So a fantastic tool. I'm sure those of you are using it. If you can, send me your comments over here, and if you can, the link is already in the description. All right, you can click on that link and pay for it. 5,000 rupees is for 1 year subscription, and 3,000 rupees is for 6 months of subscription. All right. Yeah. So any other questions, doubts, please feel free to ask me. Any questions up to whatever you've discussed, any concept of RRG that you would have not understood it, feel free to ask me, all right, in the comment section. uh, okay, so if there are no further questions, should we wrap up, right? Okay, then. So, all the very best, my friends. I see you again on Thursday. And the Thursday session will be in Hindi language. All right. So, all the very best. And let's see, we'll continue our analysis, whatever you've discussed today. All right. We will try and see that how much, things have changed in 2 days. All right. And for those who entered this session late, the recording of this session will be available on our social media YouTube channels. All right, and you can go there and have a look at the video once again. All right. So all the very best. Most welcome, Sudhir ji, Shamim Akhtar ji. All right. All the very best. Bye bye.